Hello and welcome to People Empower, the program where politics, governance, and public accountability intersect. On today's edition, we examine fresh calls for Nigerians to vote according to their conscience ahead of the 2027 general election. The Independent National Electoral Commission's public display of President Bola Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima's credentials, growing political support for Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde within the opposition, renewed advocacy for greater representation of women in elective offices, the dispute over the APC senatorial ticket in Abia State, fresh comments by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, on the Rivers political crisis, and the latest developments ahead of the Osun State governorship election. I am Mary Agiobo. And now, the Independent National Electoral Commission has commenced a statutory public display of the academic credentials and personal particulars submitted by President Bola Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima as the All Progressives Congress presidential and vice presidential candidates for the 2027 general election. According to INEC, the exercise is in compliance with Section 29 of the Electoral Act 2026, which requires the Commission to publish the nomination forms and supporting documents submitted by candidates. The move has continued to generate public reactions, particularly on whether INEC acted appropriately by accepting and displaying the president's credentials. Our correspondent took to the streets to sample public opinion. A consultant expert believes only the Commission is best placed to address questions surrounding the process.
For me, I think the INEC stands the better people to answer that question, because if they are following the rules and regulations, of the acts established, establishing them, so to say, they'll be able to be fair and just to everyone who is coming. So INEC stands a better chance to answer that question, why they were unable to disqualify him or not.
An accountant says institutions should support leaders rather than engage in actions capable of undermining their tenure.
I believe we can really do so many things that can really change the fortune of the common people like us. Because what we are going through now, we did not bargain for this at all. What we are going through is terrible. We have gone through a lot, and we need positive change. That's just it.
A student says he believes the president's academic credentials are unlikely to be challenged because of his power.
If we have a standard, if you are going into a political appointment or going as a candidate, it's expected that you should come with a qualification. For presidency, there is a specific qualification that you're supposed to attain, at least. But if you check where I just saw BSc there, I'm not sure he might have the result quite okay. But because of power, because of political power and how the country is being run, you cannot go to even try to vet his academic qualification or to attain the position he's going into. You cannot check because of currently he's the president.
And now those are the views of some Nigerians. Beyond public opinion, the display of candidates' credentials remains an important aspect of Nigeria's electoral process, allowing citizens to examine documents submitted by political parties while preserving the legal right of any aggrieved person to challenge them through the courts where necessary. The Speaker of the Imo State House of Assembly, Chike Olengbe, has pledged support for a proposed bill seeking to reserve 3 additional legislative seats for women in the state. The assurance came during an advocacy visit by the League of Women Voters of Nigeria, which urged lawmakers to support greater female participation in governance. The proposal has reignited conversations about women's representation in elective offices across Nigeria. Our correspondent asked Nigerians whether the country should have more women occupying elective positions. A proud farmer believes women possess the strength, capacity, and leadership qualities required to serve.
I believe we can really do so many things that can really change the fortune of the common people like us. Because what we are going through now, we did not bargain for this at all. What we are going through is terrible. We have gone through a lot, and we need positive change. That's just it.
An accountant believes women sometimes face challenges balancing leadership responsibilities.
Make counterpart feels okay, women are weaker vessels. They may not have the power, the resources, the finances. They may not have the availability, that's the presence to be there, the wisdom to represent in the politics. They feel, okay, this one is a woman, let her remain in the kitchen, or let her go into teaching job, let her so that she can close by 2 p.m. and go and take care of the kids. So they feel
And the legal practitioner says Nigeria's democratic system already provides women with opportunities to participate in politics.
There's full inclusiveness. Men are in political offices, women are also in political offices. So I feel the issue is that most women have actually sidelined themselves. Because like I told you earlier in the previous interview, Section 42 of the Constitution talks about discrimination. So if a woman actually has a political ambition, nothing stops her from contesting. Insofar as you have the backing, or better still, you have the backing of your political party, you have your nomination form, nothing stops you. Understand? Because the Nigerian government, or better still, the Nigerian democracy allows all gender, irrespective, both male and female, to contest for any available position. Understand? And based on my kind of person, I actually want to see, because I've actually dealt with some female politicians, I've seen women in power, I've seen them do remarkable stuff. So personally, I actually want to use this platform to actually advocate for more women in governance, more women in politics. And again, probably for some women, I think there are certain stringent conditions or certain bars that stops them from actually contesting. There is nothing. Insofar as you have such ambition, you can actually pursue it.
Those were the opinions of some Nigerians. The debate over women's participation in governance continues to gain attention across the country, with advocates maintaining that greater inclusion promotes stronger institutions, broader representation, and a more balanced democratic process. The All Progressives Congress has inaugurated its 276-member National Campaign Council for the August 15 Osun governorship election, describing the contest as a must-win battle and a dress rehearsal for the 2027 general elections. Speaking at the inauguration in Abuja, APC National Chairman Nentaweyu Watda said the party will deploy its nationwide political structure, grassroots networks, and campaign machinery to secure victory for its governorship candidate. Muniruddin Oyebamiji, popularly known as Ambo. The campaign council is chaired by Imo State's governor and chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, Hope Uzodinma, who will lead the party's mobilization efforts across the state. Yuwasida said the APC remains Nigeria's most formidable political party, citing its large number of governors, lawmakers, local government chairmen, and councillors as evidence of its electoral strength. He described the Osun governorship election as the party's final electoral contest before 2027, saying the outcome would measure its preparedness for the next general election.
From the governors to National Assembly, to National Working Committee members, to all the committees that we have here, nothing will stop us to take Ambo to Government House come 15 August 2026. The election in Osun is a must-do for APC, and the party will mobilize resources, mobilize and coordinate people who will ensure that we go down to Osun in our numbers. We do house to house. There's no tribe, no language, no person that is in Osun right now, but doesn't have a person in APC that can walk to his house, knock his door, and convert him to ensure that we win the election in 2027. That's why we selected the members of this committee to cover all tribes, all languages, all people, all shared opinions, from the PWs to everybody we need to mobilize this election. From the women, you're going to mobilize the women door to door, house to house, to ensure that we win this election in 2026.
The APC chairman also announced plans for an aggressive grassroots campaign, including person to person and house to house, mobilization across Osun State, with governors, National Assembly members, state lawmakers, and party officials expected to participate. According to him, the campaign council reflects the diversity of Osun State and places special emphasis on mobilizing women, youths, and other critical voting blocs ahead of the election. The Forum of State Chairmen of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has called on former President Goodluck Jonathan to publicly dissociate himself from what he described as the unauthorized use of his name in the party's leadership dispute. Addressing journalists in Abuja on Monday, Forum Chairman Austin Nwachukwu said their action has become necessary to protect the integrity of the former president and prevent further confusion over the party's leadership. He also urged the PDP National Working Committee to commence legal proceedings against individuals it accused of impersonation, forgery, and the alleged misuse of court judgments, insisting that the National Working Committee remains the only leadership of the party recognized by the law and the Independent National Electoral Commission.
Their utter disrespect for the rule of law, their breach of peace, and reckless utterances pose a clear present danger to public order. Nigeria is a nation of laws, not of propaganda. No group of expert and recalcitrant individuals should be allowed to substitute court pronouncements with press statements. 2, to end the false presentation as a faction of PDP. These individuals have continued to falsely and continuously present themselves as a faction of the PDP, despite numerous competent court pronouncements to the contrary.
Nwachukwu further called on security agencies to investigate the alleged forgery and distortion of court judgments, warning that such actions could threaten public peace. He also appealed to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, to order a security review of a property in Abuja allegedly being used to coordinate activities capable of disrupting public order. The party, recognized by the law and the Independent National Electoral Commission.
For breaching public peace and leading to a total breakdown of law and order in the FCT. We urge the Honorable Minister to cause an immediate security review and take necessary administrative action in the interest of peace in the nation's capital. 5, we demand for decisive legal action by the National Working Committee of our great party, the NWC. We call on the Alhaji Abdulrahman Muhammad and Senator Samuel Nemega Anyanwu-led NWC to take positive and decisive final legal action to stop this charade.
The forum equally urged media organizations to verify court judgments before publication and appealed to PDP members across the country to remain calm and united as the party continues preparations for future elections. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, says the biggest mistake made by Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara was attempting to establish an independent political structure shortly after assuming office. Speaking during a media chat in Port Harcourt, Wike argued that Governor Fubara abandoned the political structure that brought him to power and listened to advisors who encouraged confrontation instead of cooperation. The former Rivers governor also defended his record in office, citing major infrastructure projects, including flyovers and the Port Harcourt Ring Road, as part of the foundation he expected his successor to build upon. His remarks come amid continuing political tensions in Rivers State. 14 registered political parties in Osun State have elected a new 9-member executive committee for a faction of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC. The election, held in Osogbo through affirmation, produced Tosin Odeyemi of the Democratic Leadership Alliance as chairman, while Professor Adigun Adepeju of the African Democratic Congress emerged as deputy chairman. Other executive members were drawn from political parties including the Labour Party, APC, Action Alliance, Zenith Labour Party, National Rescue Movement, and the Allied People's Movement. In his acceptance speech, Odeyemi said 16 of the 22 registered political parties in the state supported the process, explaining that the decision became necessary following what he described as a failure of the national leadership of IPAC to fill vacant positions in the Osun chapter. According to him, the leadership vacuum could affect consultations among political parties ahead of the August governorship election, adding that the new executive would serve as a bridge between political parties, electoral stakeholders, and the electorate. He also pledged to protect the interests of member parties and promote democratic engagement throughout the electoral process. And finally, Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke says he remains confident ahead of the August 15th governorship election, insisting that the people of the state remain firmly behind him. Speaking during an interactive session with civil servants and pensioners in Osogbo, Adeleke urged residents to participate peacefully in the election while expressing concerns about the neutrality of security agencies. He, however, expressed confidence in the intervention of the National Peace Committee and called on voters to remain steadfast throughout the electoral process. The election is expected to feature 14 candidates, including Governor Adeleke, who is seeking another term in office. With just 2 days to the governorship election, political parties are making final appeals to voters, while electoral stakeholders continue to emphasize the importance of peaceful, credible, and transparent polls. That concludes this edition of People and Power. As Nigeria moves closer to another election cycle, issues of leadership, electoral transparency, internal party democracy, inclusion, and public accountability will continue to shape the nation's democratic conversation. Thank you for watching People and Power. I am Mary Agiobo. Join us again next time for more in-depth analysis of the personalities, policies, and politics shaping Nigeria's democracy. Have a wonderful day.